and welcome to the next JavaEE tutorial. In this tutorial, we're going to wrap up with how to work with query params in JavaEE. This is the REST API that we created last time. It's pretty simple. It receives a name and an age parameter, both of primitive types, and returns a string. Now we're going to actually create another REST API in our project, because you can have more than one. So all you have to do to create another REST API is to create a new Java class. Call it whatever you want. I'm going to call mine math. And then put a path annotation on the class, naming the URL whatever you'd like. I'm going to call this calculator. And I'm going to start with two methods. An integer addition and an integer subtraction. Both of these methods are going to take two parameters given by QueryParams. You're probably familiar with how to do this by now. So just put in whatever you feel like for the string. Return A plus B. And our addition one is done. And we actually can just copy paste this whole thing into this method to save a little bit of time. Now, those of you who like to eliminate redundancies can probably tell that our simple REST API that we just created is consuming the same parameters with the same exact names for both methods. And so most of you are probably thinking that you would rather make these instance variables. The cool thing about Jax-RS is that you can, and it's very easy. So instead of putting this in here, I just declare my query params at the class level. Where you put the annotation is not important. It can be just behind the variable that you're annotating, or it can be on top of. I'm giving you two different examples here just so you can see what I mean. And now we can actually eliminate query parameter from the method header, and this will still work as you would expect. So hop over to the terminal and let's run this thing. Don't forget, kill and restart your server. Okay, now let's hop over to the browser, and if you'll recall, when we did our say hello method, the path was determined first by what's on the application path annotation in our Jax-RS configuration class, which is just the root, followed by the value of the annotation called path on ping resource, which was my path, followed by the value of the path annotation on the method. So for our add and subtract methods, the full path is going to be root, which is our application path, followed by calculator, followed by the method that we want to call. So the add method has the annotation path, and in there is add, so we're just going to type add, and it takes two parameters. So let's add a question mark, and we'll do A, since our query param is named A, equals 6, and an ampersand before we put the next one, and b equals 4, and we should get 10. Excellent. Now let's do the same with subtract. Okay, we got 2. It works as expected. Now, let's imagine that we wanted to add a third query param just for the add method, but we didn't want to put it in the class. Turns out you can mix and match query params being in the class as instance variables and being method parameters. So we'll just create another query param right in here. I'm going to call this C just for the sake of being redundant. And I can name the variable whatever I want as long as I refer to it using the query param. So now our add method can add 3 numbers. So let's go back to the terminal, kill it, rerun the server to see if it works as expected. Okay, let's go back to the invocation of add, and let's add the C parameter. We get 14. So as you can see, you can use query parameters in all different places in your code. You can use them in the method signature of a Jax-RS class, denoted by the path annotation on it, or you can use it as an instance variable, or both. Now, for those of you wondering why we didn't delete this class, it's just because maybe some of us out there can't get enough of saying hello. We'll revisit these next time. Thanks for watching.